Hey guys, I'm going to do a TTC slash chiropractic update right now. So I am on cycle day 7. I'm going to go ahead and insert a copy of my chart here so you can take a look at it. I forget if I already said, but I'm on cycle day 7 right now. Is that right? Yeah, cycle day 7. Um, and I started taking OPKs on cycle day 5. So whenever AF leaves, that's when I start taking OPKs. Because I have ovulated pretty early in my cycle before, like on cycle day 12 was my earliest, but usually I get a fade in. So that gives me good advanced warning that ovulation is approaching. So that's why I start then. So I don't know if you can see. There's a line, but it's not very dark yet. And I am getting I'm using a new brand of OPKs, and I have the new ones. These are the new ones. And I still have some of the old ones too. So whenever I start seeing a positive, I'm going to take both and see, make sure these are as accurate as the other ones. These are cheaper. I got them on Amazon, but I know the other ones work well for me. So I'm going to use both this month and make sure that these work just as well for me. So that's, pretty much just waiting to O now. So that's all there is about that. Now, I don't know if you remember, but a couple of vlogs ago, I told you if I wasn't pregnant last cycle, that my chiropractor wanted to take x-rays of my pelvis. And I was kind of unsure about it. I said, if we had to take a month off of TTCing, we would. And I called my OB and I asked the chiropractor's opinion. But my OB said it was absolutely fine if I needed to get the x-rays, and just I had to get them between cycle day 1 and 14, which I'm pretty sure she meant get it before you ovulate. And since I know I ovulate early, I said to the chiropractor, like, I want to get my x-rays as soon as possible. So I had them done yesterday. So on cycle day 6. So and both of them said there's no need to wait to try to conceive because you're born with all the eggs you're ever going to have. So yeah, it was exposed to the radiation, but it's going to be the same eggs next cycle too, because they're all there. They were all exposed. So yeah, so waiting doesn't make a difference. You just don't want to have x-rays if there is a embryo or a fetus, you know, in there, because then you're exposing them, and that's a different story. So, yeah. So today I got the results of the x-rays, and my pelvis is tilted. So he showed me, it's really hard to explain without, like, he has a model in there, like a spine and a pelvis, and so he was able to like move it and show me how mine is. But I also could see it on the x-rays, and basically, like, your pelvis has the holes in them, and say the front here is like where they're connected with the cartilage. When you're pregnant, you get that hormone relaxin, and it kind of helps to like open the hips up and make that the actual opening in the center of the pelvis bigger. So the cartilage in the front that connects the front of the pubic bone and in the hips, the relaxin kind of helps all that loosen and be able to move so baby can come through. And mine just never really hardened back up since then. So my pelvis is still kind of widened which I could have told you that because I lost all my baby weight, but I'm still up in a, 2 sizes in my jeans because my hips never shrank. They never went back. They're still, spread apart, which I guess is good if I'm having more babies, but it's because of that hormone. And so I have the problem where my pelvis is still kind of loose, and my hips, the actual top of my hip bones, are not level. They're like this. So my actual pelvis is tilted. And that's just because of all the ligaments and everything are loosened from the relaxin that I had when I was pregnant. Now, it used to be like the first 5 days of a cycle, I would be in excruciating pain because for some reason when I switched from the progesterone part of the cycle back to the estrogen part, that hormonal shift just throws my body for a loop, and it causes all of that cartilage and ligaments and everything to loosen, and basically my pelvis is just really unstable and it's very painful. Since I've been seeing the chiropractor, this cycle I only had excruciating pain for 1 day, and last cycle it was like 4 or 5 days. So there is a great improvement, and I'm guessing the tilt in my pelvis was worse back when, but like before I started seeing the chiropractor, but I didn't want to get x-rays in because I didn't know if I was pregnant or not. So, so I don't know what to think of all of it. I do know that I've noticed a major difference in the duration of the pain from before I started seeing him to after, so that's good. And everything else looked pretty good with my spine, so that's the good news. So I guess it's not really going to impact our TTCing, but in case anybody was wondering if we were going to take a break or if I got the x-rays or anything, I just thought I would update you. And we also started taking my son to see the chiropractor, and I asked them, I've seen a lot of kids there, and I said, hey, why do the kids come in? And, he gave me a list of reasons, and we decided just to take him in because our insurance covers it, so why not? When a baby is born, they can have some spinal misalignment just from the birth process itself. So it's a good idea to get all children to a chiropractor when they're infants, just to see if there's any correction needed. And my son has not ever passed his hearing test yet. He's not going back until the first week in December, but we've been in several times and he hasn't passed it. They said he's hearing, but they don't know how well because he can't really tell them, and his eardrums don't respond normally to the vibrations or the frequencies that they test with. There's no movement in the eardrum. They said they thought it was because of fluid. So the chiropractor, did an adjustment on my son. He said there was some misalignment in his neck, and so he's adjusted him twice now. And right after the adjustment, like the next day, my son learned like 6 new words, and he was just like, you could tell he was hearing us better. Like, we would say something and he would respond appropriately where he hadn't been before. So I really think the adjustment helped to drain his ear canals. So we'll see when I go and take him for his hearing test here in a couple weeks. But I was pretty impressed, and my son loves it. He just lays there, and after the adjustment, he just smiles. So, I know he's not in any pain, and he is really well behaved when we're there, so he looks forward to it. And I know that's not like TTC update, but I guess it's just giving chiropractors props, because I've noticed a difference in my symptoms already, and so has my son, or so we think. But so probably the next time you'll hear from me is whenever I get a positive OPK. So I think that's it. I send hugs out to Brandy. I know she's having a hard time right now. And I know a few of you are still waiting to either confirm a negative, and I feel for all you guys. So my thoughts are with you, and baby dust to everyone. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.